Alright, so I'm going to put this dumb thing back together. Took an hour just to pull it apart. So hopefully we can put it back together and hopefully it'll still work, which it will. But this was a pain. That literally every component in the laptop had to come apart. So I will give the engineers that designed the laptop this. Whoever designed this did an excellent job. It gave me a headache because this was a pain. What mic am I using? It's the same one on the Logitech. I know, it's horrible. Okay. Let me just double check, make sure that my heat sink screws are hooked down. Hi, Lynn. Torque down. So, if I remember correctly, let's hope I get all the screws back in the right order. Yeah, it's the webcam mic. So if I remember correctly, these two screws leave in right here. Let me try this. No, for a fact that one went there. What thermal paste I use? I don't know. Thermaltake TG4. It doesn't really matter. It's better than what I had. It was running fairly warm, so they won't stop putting excess. Exactly. Yeah. That's why I hate doing general repair. And see, this is they design it so it has 12 different screw lengths. So let me open up the repair manual back up and see which places that screw went in. Yeah, on Apple I never end up with Apple I never end up with extra screws, but with anything else, probably. At least Lenovo provides repair information, at least more so than Apple. Okay. And to take the board out on this, you actually have to take the screen out and everything else. There's no component that you could leave out of it. Like at least with a MacBook, I don't have to pull the screen out. I just pull the board out. It's easy. With this, it's just miserable. Same right there. and watch. In 2 days, I'm gonna find some extra screws that are on my desk. I don't know where they came from, and would come from this. Now, as far as the board, I'm not really concerned about one screw that's doesn't get in there. Yeah, it should be a different stream. I don't think it's the same one, but there's 3 less screws. Yeah, you're probably gonna win that bet. It wouldn't surprise me, but it'll probably be in a couple of days that I'm realizing, where did this screw come from? I believe additional screw went there, but I'm probably wrong. And that's all the screws to the board that I see. I don't see any other holes. No, it's okay. So what's next? Next will be the screen, I believe. It's the last one for the. This was by far, though, the worst laptop I've ever disassembled. It was miserable. Or maybe that wasn't for the screen. This is for DCN, I believe. It's interesting on this one, the LCD power is connected to the DCN board, and I believe current sensing is also on the DCN board. Not 100% that, but I believe current sensing is on the DCN board as well, which that helps things. Because if you plug the wrong charger into it or a bad charger, it's not gonna kill the resistors on the motherboard. Let me wrestle this in. Oh. No. I guess the screw doesn't even go there. This one is for the screen, and well, it's for the board, to connect the board to the chassis. I look, but I don't respond. If I look and... Oh. So now we put the screen back on. Let's see if I could remember correctly. It's right there. Chris, you want a timeout? Yes, messaging works. Singing or what? So, what's strange is these hinges are going to need to be replaced eventually. But I'll probably just leave it until I absolutely need to. Because this is a pain to take apart. Now, the play and the hinges aren't bad. They still have a little play, but nothing that I'd be concerned about. So, what I'm going to do now is close the lid over. And go ahead and put the 2 screws for the screen assembly in. We'll give it this though. This is the best laptop I've ever owned. You know, I mainly used Dell before I got this, and once I used Lenovo, no, there's no going back to Dell. Tighten the screws. Chris, I have tightened the screws. It's not. It's the actual hinge itself is worn out. So, hinges are back in. Yeah, see, I don't know if you can see this on camera, but the play in the hinge, it's not what you can tighten. It's this hinges itself. So now here's our mess of Wi-Fi cables, and when I've never seen this before, maybe someone can answer this. These 2 connectors, they look like thermocouples or thermal sensors. So I don't know what that's for. It goes near the Wi-Fi card. So the LCD power cable first. That's in. Next is the LVDS. Nice to look at it to see if there's anything. No, it looks fine. I don't remember if it pushes in. No, I think it just goes like that. I want to test that on this LVDS. I can't tell if the way the connector is designed, if it just slides in and you put the clamp over it, it clamps it down, or if it needs to be pushed in more. But it should be fine like that. We'll see when we turn it on. So, on top of that, palm rest. I'll show you when I put it back together. It has these thermocouples that feed through near the PCI slot. I don't know if one's near the CPU, but it's not the it's not for the webcam or the backlight. It sits right near the CPU heatsink on the bottom and right near the spot where the PCI SSD would go. So now this cable routing's a pain. We'll deal with it. These get fed through one of these holes on the roll cage. It makes it difficult. You know, they couldn't. I was thinking, is this ThinkPad Slim series had to have had different engineers than the regular series, because this thing, the design of it, is way overcomplicated. You know, you don't need to on half the stuff. You know, on a 430, a regular 430, I don't believe you have to take the screen out to get the board out. You know, literally to reapply thermal paste, I had to take the whole board out. I mean, the whole literally every component in the laptop had to come out. That's worse than out. Do I like programming? Sometimes for radar. Let's make sure we plug the speaker back in. I can't stand when they do this and put a connector in such a strange place that you have to, you know, fight with it to get back in. But this one wasn't bad. Oh, and I forgot something on the board. I forgot this. And of course, this board for this is for the SSD, which I forgot. Can't go very far without that. And the screw fell somewhere on my bench. Well, on the CPU temp sensor, it has an on-die temp sensor, and on Intel CPUs there's an on-die sensor on the CPU die itself, one for each core. Then there's another one on the package. I would imagine it would be somewhere near the die, not on the die itself. And when they get to 100 Celsius, they don't shut off, they throttle back. They don't shut completely off. Then at like 120, he's gonna reassemble the thing and it's not gonna turn. No, it'll turn on. This is the wrong screw. This is why I don't do general repair. I like to stick with just board repair. I don't like general repair. And a screw fell somewhere over here for. I think it's right here. Before we die, well, maybe. If this was a MacBook, it'd already be out the door. Just double checking. I must have went here. No. And they use like 4 different screw sizes on the board itself, so that's what I'm trying to figure out is which screw goes where. And that looks correct like that. No, you can't see the interesting. No, this is a pretty boring stream, I'm sure. So this screw actually goes here. That's correct. Okay. Now this connector goes for the Wi-Fi and Bluetooth. And you know what the thing is that this I/O board for Bluetooth is probably bad because Bluetooth has never worked. Or it doesn't even show any Bluetooth hardware. I left what? Yeah, if it's hard to understand, it's from my microphone being far away. It's not me. It's from the microphone. What's that in front of this? That's my microscope for board repairs. I don't get why they included so many of these Wi-Fi connectors either. So you only use 2 unless it's for some expansion that I don't know about. No, hang on just 1 second. Oh, USB microscope? No, that thing. I don't even know where that is. That's up there. I'm not using that for this. Then it's in my way because I can't do anything with that in my way. So now I don't really care if these go in the same place that Lenovo had them in the factory. It doesn't really matter. I just want it to turn back on, which it will. These Wi-Fi antennas are a pain, the way they have to be pushed into this carbon fiber frame. Whatever. Let's leave it like that. There it goes. Then they go under. Of course, the CMOS battery's in the way. Under like that, and then yeah, this microscope has no camera on it. I want to get a camera. I was looking at these boroscope magnification cameras. But I don't know what the viewing distance would be. You know, it would be for something. You know, that it would be able to fit in this this hole right here. Oh, hang on just 1 second. I have to play to something. I want to figure out where these antennas get routed. Because these ones. These go down to the bottom of the board. Yeah, messages. Hours of playing to on Facebook. Absolutely correct. I don't think I ever want to work on a ThinkPad again. Not after this. No, your AC voltage is down to 98. Let's see. Since you're on SCE2, let's see. So, Lynn, let's see what my AC voltage is. It's probably going to be similar to yours. No, 120, and that's with fan on. But I have iPhones laying around. Reach up with no idea. I don't even use an iPhone, I use a BlackBerry. So we're almost done here. I'm just feeding these two last Wi-Fi sensors and not Wi-Fi antenna, and then this thermal sensor down. And then I'm also going to secure that with under here with the CMOS battery. That is going to fall over right there. Okay, that's good enough for that. So now it's time to start putting the screws back in for the palm rest. Make sure nothing's pinched. There's this one silver screw that goes in the corner of the SSD. I have to say, not even Apple uses this much nonsense. For So these screws they have a torque specification from Lenovo, not that that matters. Yeah, we're going to test and see if the temps improve. What I'm actually going to do is end this stream and then come back on the ThinkPad and see how much of an improvement there was. I don't think it's going to be too great, but then again, I don't know. The paste actually wasn't that bad. It was still, it was dry, but it wasn't like some of the stuff, you know, on, I had a 2010 MacBook Pro, and the paste was completely caked on. I had to use my tweezers to scrape it off, and it was coming off in like hard chunks. It wasn't soft, it was hard. Again, almost dropped it. Not that it would matter. What I don't get in the specification in the repair manual, which makes no sense, it says if you drop the board from as high as 6 inches, you'll damage your accelerometer. But yet Lenovo has videos of them dropping it from a scissor lift, you know, 20 feet up and not damaging anything. That makes no sense. I'm in the desert, not really. I mean, Lancaster and Palmdale is pretty populated. It's about the same as, it's similar to your area. It's not quite as, but it's pretty populated. Okay, so next is these 3 screws for palm rest. Hopefully I won't end up with any extra screws in a few days. No, I don't really. I have a headset, but I'm not gonna wear a headset with a cable while I'm working. That makes that. You know. But thank you though. Okay, now looks like it's time for the keyboard. Make sure I didn't forget anything. But it doesn't look like that. What I don't get is these drainage holes. It supposedly has drainage holes for liquid spill, but I don't see where it would drain. You know, without it draining right onto the board, I don't see where, unless, I don't know. Yeah, I saw that, I saw that the thing on your eBay page, Chris, about the VNL gauge cluster repair. I don't think mine's the cluster, though, that the oil pressure gauge reads pressure all the time. Okay, so figure out how to put this keyboard back in. You know what I forgot to do? This is why you don't work on stuff late. Forgot to plug in the speaker connector. So, let's see if I can get it. That'll be a pain. I apologize for everyone watching. I can't believe I just forgot the keyboard connector. I mean the speaker connector under the palm rest. So guess what has to be done? I have to take off the palm rest again. Figures. This is why I don't like doing general repair. When any of my own stuff breaks, I don't like fixing it. But this should be fairly quick. I'll make it quick. Can't even believe I forgot the speaker connector. It's unbelievable. But that's what you get for live streaming. But this will be fast. So. No, you won't be here till 3 a.m. But yeah, I did miss the cable. It was a speaker connector, but it'll be easy. Just gotta lift the palm rest up. Make sure I got all the screws. No, missed one. Other than that, I was just getting ready to put the keyboard connector in and turn it on. I would not want to work on ThinkPads at Lenovo's warranty facility or whatever, or wherever they send them when they break. They're great computers, but at the end of the day, we've all missed cables. It's not, you know, if another tech tells me they never missed a cable and put something back together, they're lying, because it happens. And that's why we stream stuff, you know. I make mistakes just like everyone else makes mistakes. Okay. So who here in chat can tell me that they've never missed a cable when putting something back together? especially on an unfamiliar device. You know, I've never taken apart a ThinkPad before. You know, I'll repair. So when I, get busier, I would hire another tech to tear them down to board level. Then I'll just take care of the board repair, because for board repair for me is yeah, never missed a cable and you've never lied. Sure. I remember the desktop that's running the stream right now, I spilled coffee in it before, and I had to tear it all down and clean the board with alcohol. Coffee went all over the motherboard, all over the graphics card, all over the RAM, and it got the RAM MOSFETs on the desktop motherboard. And that killed the one it killed the one RAM stick that was in it. So I put 2 new ones in it, cleaned the graphics card with alcohol real well, and everything, and it's been fine. That just shows you how most electronics, or a lot of electronics I should say, as long as you take proper methods to clean them before turning them back on after water damage, you'll be fine. The desktop, you kill power, but on laptops they have always present rail. Like on MacBooks, any rail G3 hot is always present whether or not the computer's turned on. So like PP-BUS G3 hot, for example, water damage, usually the ISL, current sensing resistors, could be a whole bunch of other stuff on that line as well, but that's usually the 2 things that you see the most, is the ISL or the current sensing resistors. But a lot of times the ISL will just fail out of nowhere. That's what I see the most is, when I get a board, I measure, first thing I always measure is PP-BUS G3 hot. If it's absent, I'll measure resistance to ground. If it's shorted or just abnormal, I pull the ISL off, and you'll see that'll drop. But if anytime you get PP-BUS G3 hot running at 3 volt, 4 volt, always replace the ISL. Another thing you should do, the MOSFETs cost 10 cents, 17 cents I should say. Change them while you're at it, because I had one that I replaced the ISL. Then there was one MOSFET that was shorted, so I replaced the one shorted MOSFET. And then I noticed it shorted right away again, so I replaced it again. And then I changed both MOSFETs for PP-BUS generation, and I noticed it would just go right to 16 volts, but it would probably power on. You could run it at 16 volts. It's probably not going to hurt anything running MacBook with its 12 volt rail at 16 volts. It might eventually it's going to kill stuff, but immediately it's not going to. Connector. No, most of my work is random failures on motherboards, which are miserable. You get no sign of damage, and a lot of it's of course going to be from bad chargers or from issues, or you don't even know. For all you know, it was water damage and someone cleaned it before you get it, because a lot of times I should say sometimes those water damage markers aren't even triggered. And a lot of stuff is just components wearing out. With the older ones, that are 7 years old, it's not going to last forever. Like the ISL, it's a good chip, but it's not going. By all means, it's not going to last forever. And given the load on the ISL 6259, that's feel this keyboard to get it back in has to slide forward backward now, I think, because it's no, there it goes. Yeah, Lewis gets water damage boards because he's across the street from a college, and I should go to the college local in town and hand out cards because I'd probably make a lot of money that way. But you have to take into consideration as well, with water damage boards coming from a college, it's not always going to be water or anything like that. So you think about how some of these get damaged. They're drinking and they spill stuff on it. And it's not also out of the ordinary if they throw up on the computer itself. That's why any board that is vomit damaged could go to Lewis. Because I don't want to work on that. In that case, it would probably go in Jason's pile. Or we could send it to Chris. That would work too. That would work even better. Where is it? Here. Yeah, wear gloves. I tend not to wear gloves. I should. So just so everyone knows, this doesn't have RAM in it. But for everyone that thinks it's not going to power on, has no RAM in it, so it'll beep. But so see, it does work. Now we need to put the rest in, just simple stuff. RAM, solid state drive. To be honest, I don't really like wearing gloves when I work on them. No, I always wash my hands. I always disinfect my work area, but I don't like wearing gloves. Not unless the board is really nasty. If it's really nasty, then yeah, I'll wear gloves. Everyone should. Just like the conversation with Justice as well. You have a flare. Why don't you put the boards to your face to find a short? Well, if something has cat urine or who knows what else in it, I don't really want to be putting that board to my face. You know, I just rather wouldn't. Yeah, that's like the retina boards. No, the RAM on Razors, it's soldered on, isn't it? And that makes it a pain. I don't know why manufacturers just can't make it with removable RAM. It's easier. It's, you know, to be honest, I think it would be cheaper for them uh, to put a RAM slot like any other normal computer. But if they want to make things difficult, one thing I don't like though on the older MacBook boards is any kind of rework you do with the RAM um, in it, you could cause a lot of problems. So no, these are not thermocouples right here. These are extra antennas, which makes no sense. I'd like to cover this one too. This one lost its cover, so I'm gonna get some electrical tape if I have it on my desk, and here's some electrical tape because I don't want it rubbing against the PCI slot or anything like that. I'm gonna wrap these two with a little electrical tape, just so they don't get stuck in anywhere and cause any issues. So here's the final cover. Then all we have to do is put the SSD in and then boot into Windows, and I'll come back on this stream on the ThinkPad and see how the temps have improved. Yeah, Razer's, you know, I don't know. Any idea who makes the motherboards in Razer? So I've had bad luck with motherboards manufactured by Pegatron, but they've improved. It really doesn't matter now. It's the design. You know, if the design is bad, it's not gonna. And I'm missing one screw. Oh well. It's not a customer's device. I don't care. Now, if it's a customer's device and it's a customer's device and it's missing a screw, then you know, find a screw and place it. But oh wait, no, I'm not missing a screw. It's probably no, it's with the solid state drive. So no, I did not lose a single screw. That's pretty good. Make sure I put the solid state drive in the right way. These rubber things on the side are pretty annoying, but they're gonna fall off. I guess on the hard drive that it came with weren't that bad, but yeah, apparently Foxconn and maybe even Pegatron might be building a factory in the U.S. That would be, you know, great, but whoever makes the boards and MacBooks, it's going to be either Pegatron or Foxconn. I would like to know who solders stuff on so crooked. I mean, some of the stuff on MacBooks is so crooked a monkey could have soldered it better. I'm not even kidding. So it has to be something specific to a certain plant, whether or not it's Foxconn or Pegatron, because you know the machine makes the boards. The humans have very little. There'll be a loose screw inside the fan housing. There's no screws in the fan housing. See, look, no loose screws. Put battery in. And as you can see, and tell me who could beat this boot speed. Watch this boot speed after this Intel boot agent nonsense. Of course, it'll boot slow this time. And we're booted into Windows, and let's see our attempts. Cockroaches in a fan. That's pretty impressive. I know Paul Daniels said there's sometimes geckos that crawl into computers, and then they die, which that does not sound pleasant. I wouldn't want a gecko or something crawling in somewhere and dying. That wouldn't be good. Especially if somehow it causes something to short out. So battery's charging. We will be right back on this stream. It'll be very, very quick transition here. Where's my USB? And we'll see. We'll mess with it a little bit. No mistakes. Yeah, with creatures, you know, if it's dead, I had a bug crawl out of a MacBook, but the thing is, it was alive too, and that's a big difference from if it's dead or alive. So I'm going to transition here to this computer. Let's see if I have sound on here too, just in case. Yep, we have sound. So far the fan, I don't even hear the fan. Okay. So we will be right back on the ThinkPad. Let me find where I put my USB cable. And I'll see everyone then. So we should be back. So we're streaming now on the ThinkPad. I believe so. Let it in. Let's see what our temperatures are. So let's turn display capture. And much lower. Let's let it run for a sec. So that's much better. You know, from running from 80 and the usage is at 30. Let's see, what can I do to make it usage go up even more. I don't really have any CPU intensive tasks on here. This will work. So it's 100% usage at 70. I'll let it. The fan just kicked on at 70. So that's a good change in temperatures. And keep in mind this is at 100% load. Before it was yeah, I'm gonna stress test while streaming. So is the stream still clear, or is it so is the stream still clear, or is it good? See, it's still smooth, and that's while stress testing, and it's still running stress testing, and it's at 75, and that's at 100%. Before it was 80, 85 at 60%, which is too hot. So everything's good now with it. So all right, well, thank everyone for watching, and I hope this helps someone that wants to do this on the same computer. And remember, before we leave, always wick micro BGA pads. No matter what you do, always wick micro BGA pads. So quickly, I'm just going to go to chat, see if there's any different. So thanks everyone for watching, and maybe in the next couple of days we'll have something on weather radar that I'll show you guys. I found this thing, not knowing what it does, and tried to amplify the signal on my radar, and ended up killing the transmitter in the process. So maybe in a couple of days we'll have a stream on fixing that. So thank everyone for watching, and hope you learned something.